Hello, I'm David Harper with the BBC News. Heat waves have now set in around much of the Northern Hemisphere. Germany, unusually, is suffering from extreme heat, with politicians warning the climate crisis was already causing deaths. Red alerts are in force in Italy and Spain. Nearly a third of Americans are under extreme advisories, with warnings that scorching temperatures in the west could be deadly to anyone without effective cooling or hydration. Here's our North America correspondent, David Willis.
The city of Phoenix in Arizona is expected to see temperatures of 43 Celsius for the 16th day in a row. Another desert city, Las Vegas, is expecting to match its own record of 47 degrees Celsius. And in California's Death Valley, traditionally, of course, one of the hottest places on Earth, they're expecting temperatures of 54 degrees Celsius. Now, every year, about 700 people in this country die of heat-related causes, and hospitals in some parts of the country are already reporting a rise in admissions.
Rescue workers in South Korea are scrambling to reach people trapped inside their vehicles, submerged by floodwaters in a tunnel in central Chungcheong. One person is reported to have died, and at least 9 have been rescued so far. Jae Sung Lee reports.
The operation to rescue people from the tunnel is continuing. It's still not clear how many vehicles are stranded, nor how many people are actually inside them. Earlier, there were reported to be 19 vehicles in the tunnel, but officials later corrected that to about 15. Meanwhile, there's growing criticism of the authorities, with people asking why they didn't restrict access to the tunnel sooner. Floods and landslides caused by torrential rain have killed more than 20 people over the last 3 days.
The police in the US state of Georgia say 4 people have been shot dead by a gunman who remains at large. The shootings took place in 4 different places in the city of Hampton, south of the state capital, Atlanta. At a news conference, the Henry County Sheriff, Reginald Scandrett, identified a local man, Andre Longmore, as a suspect.
Around the time of 10:45 this morning, Mr. Langmore shot and killed 4 residents of the city of Hampton. All 4 victims are adults. There was 3 males, 1 female. We're not releasing the names of the victims at this time to ensure that the family has time to be notified and for them to grieve in private before it becomes public.
4 arrest warrants have been issued. A motive is not yet known. The office of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he will be kept in hospital overnight, and the weekly Sunday cabinet meeting will be held on Monday. Mr. Netanyahu was taken to hospital earlier in the day, with the preliminary assessment being dehydration. Last October, the 73-year-old was also hospitalised after he began to feel ill during prayers at a synagogue. World News from the BBC. Ben Wallace, Britain's Defence Secretary, who's been one of the most consistent advocates of Western military aid to Ukraine, says he will resign at the next cabinet reshuffle. He was widely tipped to be the next head of NATO, but more recently ruled himself out. Marie-Laure de Decker, the former French model who moved behind the camera and became an internationally recognised war photographer, has died at the age of 75 after a long illness. She was born in Algeria when it was still a French colony. Anna Pissarro reports.
Marie-Laure de Decker successfully covered the Vietnam War for Newsweek magazine despite her relative inexperience. She travelled extensively, building an impressive body of work. She described the challenges of being a female war photographer, saying, "If you're a woman, you're never taken seriously. However, in South Africa," she said, "you're given a little more time." The former Chadian Prime Minister, Moussa Faki Mahamat, now the chairperson of the African Union Commission, said Marie-Laure de Decker's photos had immortalised part of his country's history. She leaves behind photos of actors and celebrities, including Catherine Deneuve and the former French President Valéry Giscard d'Estaing. She explained why. When you take photos of the poor, no one's interested. You have to take photos of the rich to sell them.
One of Venezuela's main opposition leaders, Maria Corina Machado, has said that community groups linked to the government have attacked her entourage in the outskirts of the capital Caracas. Videos posted online show Ms. Machado and her aides escaping by car after being encircled by angry demonstrators. Ms. Machado said she would continue campaigning across Venezuela to challenge President Nicolas Maduro in next year's election. The Argentine footballing superstar Lionel Messi has signed to play for the Major League team Inter Miami, based in Florida, until 2025. The team, co-owned by the English former player David Beckham, made the announcement on its website. And that's the latest BBC News.